Welcome to the Manteno Village Board meeting for Monday, November 18th, 2019. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and if we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Boyce.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Dole. Here. Crockett.
Here.
Geske. Here. Phillips.
Here.
We have a quorum. Tonight, as always, we begin with the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from the November 4th, 5th Joint Review Committee, and also from the November 4th regular board meeting. Hopefully everyone has had the opportunity to review the minutes from both meetings. Are there any changes, additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, I would accept the motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented by the clerk.
I make the motion.
Motion by Phillips,
I'll second that.
second by Dole. Roll call.
Phillips.
Yes.
Dole. Yes. Boyce.
Yes.
Martin.
Yep.
Crockett.
Abstain.
Geske.
Yes.
Motion carries. Public participation, Mr. Locke, is there anyone to sign up to address the board?
We have no one this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Village President's report, just a couple items coming up. We do have another meeting before this, but coming up on Saturday, December 7th, Sarah has the lighting of Main Street and the Santa event that's going to be taking place on Saturday afternoon, September 7th. I believe it starts at 3 o'clock, and they'll be doing all the decorating. I know Jim has been working hard trying to get everything ready, and they'll be doing all the decorating, and the trees and stuff will be going up in the next couple of weeks. So there'll be a lot of things taking place in preparation for that. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. But that's the next really major event that we are having downtown, and that's always a good event. I was going to talk a little bit about the incidents that we've been having with the break-ins or the burglaries, but I'll defer to Trustee Dole when she gets to her comments, and then the chief can talk a little bit about that when we get to that. So, Village Administrator's report, Mr. Barak, do you have anything tonight?
Just one reminder, we do have all the Hometown Hero banners have been taken down. They're all at Village Hall right now. So as we told you at the last meeting, anyone who wants to get their banner, if you're at the end of the 2-year period, you can come pick that up at Village Hall for the next couple of weeks. If you're only 1 year into the plan, those will go back up again in the spring. So those are not available to be picked up until next year.
And if somebody wants to sign up to a new banner or to redo the ones that are being taken down, how long do they do that?
We'll be taking those applications now until I believe sometime in January. So we already had probably 15 or 20 people pick up banners, and probably another 10 that have re-upped for another 2-year period. So,
And I'd recommend, if you're thinking about doing that you do it sooner rather than later, because we've only got a limited number of polls, and I know that they've got something, several, or a lot that are only into the first year. So I think we had about 250 total. So once we get to a certain number, we're going to have to shut that off. So if you're interested or thinking about reapplying or going to have a new person to honor, I would do it sooner rather than waiting to the end and then being disappointed because we just run out of room. Committee reports, Public Works and Utilities, Mr. Boyce.
I have no items tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Properties and Recreation, Mr. Martin.
Same thing. I have nothing on the agenda for tonight, and our next meeting's not until March 18th, so quiet for a while.
Mr. Martin, Public Safety and Health, Mrs. Dole.
Same routine. I don't have any action items on the agenda tonight. My next public safety meeting will be December 11th at 7 a.m. in the Village Hall Conference Room. I did want to talk a little bit about, recently the police department posted a community alert about a rash of car burglaries that occurred in Manteno, as well as several other nearby communities. Most have occurred late at night, but this Sunday, a homeowner encountered a suspect in their garage armed with a gun at 6 p.m. The Manteno police encourage all residents to not only keep their cars and garage doors locked, but also keep an eye out for any strange or suspicious vehicles in your neighborhood. These suspects have been tied to armed robberies and kidnapping in the Orland Park and Frankfurt area and should be considered very dangerous. The police department has stepped up patrols and have pursued suspects on 2 separate occasions. Do not confront any suspicious people or vehicles, and do not put yourself in harm's way. Manteno is a very safe town, but these suspects are all from the Chicago area and are targeting communities located near highways. If you see anything unusual at the time of day, at any time of the day, contact the police immediately with any details you can provide without risking your safety. Chief Al, would you like to add anything else to this?
Sure. You know, car burglaries aren't new to us. We've had that over the past years. Typically, it's local young kids going around looking for unlocked cars. They'll take change out or some small item. But this last couple of months, there's been some groups that have taken it to a whole new level. We believe it's burglary crews basically out of Chicago, groups of people coming down out of Chicago, almost always in a stolen car. They'll be riding 4 or 5 deep in a car, and they'll just, typically, it's been late at night, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and they'll just idle along village streets, and the 4 guys will bail out, and they'll just start checking for open car doors on both sides of the street, grab whatever they can grab, and take off. And we had numerous ones of those in the last couple months, over several different nights. But lately, they seem to have stepped it up quite a bit. As you mentioned, we, just recently, one of them encountered a homeowner, and that was at 6 p.m. With a gun. Recent one of the stolen cars from a village resident was used up in Frankfurt in a kind of a kidnapping. They kidnapped a driver of a car, took her to multiple ATMs, got out about $9,000 out of her ATM, and other person was carjacked in Orland. And then they recovered that car a few hours later in Orland Park in the process of it. So we are investigating that. But obviously the activity stepped up severely. We're putting extra patrols on. We've actually caught them twice in the act. With the extra patrols, they flee northbound on 57 at extremely high speeds, so we're not able to stop them, but we're continuing to look for them. So yes, I would tell anybody, keep your stuff locked up, if your garage door doesn't need to be open, keep it down. And if you see any people suspicious, any vehicle suspicious at any time, like I said, typically it's been really late night, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, but just this last weekend, 6 p.m. So that was pretty unusual. So definitely call the police if you see anything suspicious.
So, and with that being said, we're always saying at 9 p.m. to lock your car, but now that it's dark at 4:30 and 5, you know, lock it every time you get out of the car. There's no reason to leave it unlocked at any time.
Yeah, we're not picking on Manteno. Multiple other southwest suburbs are being hit, as far as, even down as far as Clifton has been hit, I think, by the same crew. But it's easy access when they're right on the interstate. They can jump right back on and the chase is on, and they can get back into Chicago pretty quick.
Well, and one of the things that the chief talked about too is that we've actually caught them in the act, or, you know, twice, and stopped people. They've taken off, gotten onto the highway, and gone, you know, northbound in excess of 100, 120 miles an hour. And at that point, you've got to, you know, consider the safety not only of the officers, but of the people that are on I-57 at night. You said last night they were driving over 100 miles an hour, and they had their lights off. You know, so, you know, while we certainly want to prevent the car burglaries from happening in Manteno, we don't want the apprehension to end up in an accident that ends up, you know, killing somebody on I-57 because of, you know, something that got stolen out of a car. So the officers really got to weigh the, you know, the danger that they're putting everybody in, you know, going 100 miles an hour on I-57 in the dark.
A couple other things to keep in mind also is if your car door is unlocked, everybody's got a garage door opener in their car, and we've seen it on video, surveillance video, where they'll get in the car, up comes the garage door opener, they walk right into the garage, and they've even walked into some houses. So you're giving them basically access to your house if your car's unlocked. And leaving things out on your seats, valuable things have been stolen, like laptop computers, purses laying on the front seats. Those are pretty attractive targets.
So yeah, the 9 o'clock routine is really all the time anymore. I mean, you know, I say these are not, you know, kids from the area that are out looking to, you know, get a couple bucks out of a purse. These are people that this is their, you know, this is what they do, and they've got it, you know, that they're doing it all over. I said they haven't just targeted Manteno, but we've certainly been a target. You said that, you know, the car that was stolen, you know, that they used in Frankfurt was stolen in Piet. Don't happen to be a Manteno person, but it was when she was getting gas.
Yes.
So even, at the gas stations, when you're running in to pay, for the gas or whatever, cars are sitting there, you don't know who's in the next lane next to you. You come out after you paid for a full tank of gas and your car's done. So it's just, we've really got to start using common sense and, let's say we've got a safe community, but we've got a group of people here that are trying to turn that tide, and the police are doing what they can do to make sure that that we can locate them. The problem then too is, if we are able to apprehend them and you charge them with auto burglary, the likelihood of them staying in jail for an offense like that is remote. So catching them, doesn't necessarily solve the problem. You might solve the problem for that night, but it doesn't necessarily solve it permanently.
Yeah, if they were breaking into your car in the Walmart parking lot, wouldn't be nearly as much of a concern as when they're breaking into it in your garage, especially armed with a gun.
Other departments, have you talked and met with them to coordinate the efforts? So I would assume that if we are stopping or chasing people, in Manteno, that we've got, Bourbonnais and Piatone and everybody else is listening to be able to join in and help.
Yeah, all the different departments are meeting pretty regular. We spent half the day on the phone with Orland Park today since they got our vehicle up there. So yeah, we're working closely with all the other departments.
I mean, even when you get gas, I mean, it's now to a point where you get out of your car, you lock your car to get your gas, and then it's really bad that you have to do that, but you just don't leave your car unlocked anywhere. Just keep your keys with you. And
one of the cases we had, a lady was getting gas and somebody opened her passenger door, took her purse out while she was pumping gas.
And that was happening, that's been the story, years have been going on for time, but now you've got to lock the car, have the keys with you when you're even getting gas, so it's a sad thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that aren't necessarily looking for the well-being of what our community is looking for. We just got to make sure that we do what we can do to prevent it. And I talked with the chief about what are the other different options that we can put into place. We've got cameras on the I-57 that can monitor all the different traffic, but when the car they're in is already stolen, that's pretty difficult. You can't track that either. I mean, track that to the owner of the vehicle, and they've already reported the vehicle stolen. And the chief showed a video the other day at one of our committee meetings, and it's really, kind of eye-opening because it showed, two individuals walking on each side of the street, and then somebody driving a car down the street. Well, if an officer does happen to pull up, and see this, the car going slow, and so he pulls them over to check them out, he doesn't know that there's 4 guys out walking alongside the street. So it's very dangerous for a police officer to pull over a car by himself, not knowing that there might be 4 accomplices that aren't in the car that he doesn't see. It's a bad situation that we are trying to, working to do what we can do.
I also wanted to say something about Life 360, there will be one tomorrow. It's Medicare Part D, Homestar Insurance is one that is discussing this, and it'll be here at 9 a.m. social time, 9:15 the speaker, and 9:45 safety precaution presentation, and 10 to 10:30 social time. And that'll be the last time for this year. So, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Dole. Planning and zoning, Mr. Crockett.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any items on the agenda this evening. The Planning and Zoning Committee meeting that was scheduled for the 26th has been canceled. There is a planned commission meeting scheduled for Tuesday, December the 10th, 6 p.m. here in the Village Boardroom. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Crockett. Finance, Mr. Geske.
Thank you, Mayor. I have payment of bills in $118,115.20, which includes TIF bills from TIF number 1 of $6,654.06 and TIF 3 of $428. Our Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for December 11th at 7 a.m. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Geske. General Government, Mr. Phillips.
I have nothing on the agenda tonight either, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. So the only item we have on the agenda tonight, for the consent agenda to approve is the payment of the bills. We have the financial report, payment of the bills, motion to approve Payment of the bills in the amount of $118,115.20, which includes TIF 1 of $66.5406 and TIF 3 of $428 even. Accept the motion to take a single roll call vote on the question of passage of the agenda item as read.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dole,
Second.
second by Martin, roll call.
Dole.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Crockett.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries. Accept the motion to approve by unanimous vote the ordinances, resolutions, motions, and orders contained in the consent agenda as read.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Crockett,
Second.
second by Geske, roll call.
Crockett.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Dole.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Motion carries. Anything tonight, Mr. Bush?
Just like to thank the police department, they really stepped up the game trying to head this off. I mean, it was scary, those videos you showed us the other day, you know, it's just what happens, and, you know, I wouldn't want to be you guys' shoes, you know, it's like, it was like the cop show, you know, when that guy took that car off and sped off, and like the officers were walking up, and so, please help out anything you see, please report, because it's a real deal, so, that's it.
Mr. Martin?
Same thing, and also, if you're confronting them, they're getting maybe the message, well, I don't think we're dealing with brain surgeons here, but if we're making it as hard as we can for them, they'll go someplace where it's easier. They don't like a challenge in general. So, terrific, thank you.
Yeah, and then, you know, and like I say, that's why we're looking for ideas to, you know, we're never going to stop it, but if we can stop it in Manteno and have it happen somewhere else, that's kind of, you know, what we're looking for is, you know, ways to make us unattractive, you know, spot to do their duty, and you know, and all that does is push it off on somewhere else. But you know, hey, if we can stop them and lock them up for good, that's, you know, that's fine. But if we can't, you know, at least keep them out of our area. Mrs. Dole?
My understanding, they did send something out with the schools to the
Yes.
kids too, so, you know, read your kids' information, I guess is what you're saying, and follow what, you know, they're suggesting, so, but just lock your car every time you get out of it.
And Jim, those guys I saw some signs, new signs.
Yeah, the 9 o'clock routine, you might have to go switch that now.
Put a line through it.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah, 24-hour routine, I
Yeah,
think is what it's gotta be.
it's a shame, it has to be that way, but every time you get out of that car, just lock it.
They read our signs the other day. And
Yeah, they did it early instead of waiting until 9.
But, you know, it's dark at 4:35 now, and it's not, it's gonna, you know, this is only, you know, November 18th. It's still gonna get darker sooner.
Yeah. Mr. Crockett?
No comments, Mayor.
Yes. Mr. Phillips?
Nothing.
Accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
Motion by Boyce, second by Geske, all roll call.
Boyce.
Yes.
Geske.
Yes.
Martin. Dole.
Yes.
Crockett.
Yes.
And Phillips.
Motion carries.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming and for watching.